Hello, hello, hello. Wow, wow. What is it about the Duchess of Sussex that in just a few words I am just impressed? I'm blown away. It's so many ways that I can describe. Um, when I don't know how do I put this one. As I search for the words, as I search for the words. Anyway, let's just start off like this then. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. We're going to talk about Archetype. I am so excited. Who knew? Who knew that the day was going to start off like this? I had no clue. Um, Fortunately, I was able to go get some things done, get back and listen to the rest of it. And anyway, my aunt says hi. Oh, Lydia, welcome. You haven't been here for a couple of days. I know you've been busy, but always glad and always a pleasure to see you here. Um, oh, my Duke and I is here. Very cool. Very cool. Uh, Hi, Anita. Hello. Yes. Um, Hi, Annie Bennett. Hello. Let me say hi to a few people. I'm going to do this really fast so we can get into it. So hello, Karen, Dari Wiley, Judy Rico, Berta Sanchez, Mystic Toxin, Denise Jones, Letitia Malone, Angela Thomas, Carolyn Soas, Veronica Quick, Church Nelly, uh, Angela One Love, Teresa Weissman, Elaine Parker, and let's see, Karen M, Hazel Samuels, H Knight, and let's see, Miss D Bernard, Maddie Rambo is here, Veronica Quick. Cool. Let me see, Donna Reese. Hi, Evelyn CK. And Beverly McCaskill wants to say hi to a few people. Joan Commonwealther. Let me see. Jessica, hey, Jose is here, right? Okay. Pixie, what is that? Pixie Rebel? Okay, so I'm not going to go back any further because I see there was a lot of people already commenting. But I do have to say hi to Connie Baumer and Dorothy Ross is here. Welcome, Rosa Roberts. Okay, so let's get into it. I have to tell you, uh, Serena Williams is such a giant. She's such a giant. I just wow. I mean, every time I listen to her, I just love and admire Serena that much more. And then when you just add the way that she connects with the Duchess of Sussex, it just really aligns two of the stars that I see in the night sky um, right on each other's path, and I love that. So um, that is very cool. So let me go here. So a Spotify original, right? So it dropped today, as the young people say. It dropped. Some of us baby boomers would probably say it premiered or it was released, but let's do it like the millennials. It dropped. So anyway, it dropped, and boy, did it drop! And I mean, it's the sound heard around the world. I love the fact that it is just owning the news cycle. How perfectly timed! How perfectly timed! And let me see. I'm going to take a look at a few of your comments before I go any further because I'm just too excited. I think at this point, Harry had enough. Take your what? Had enough to take his wife and kids and go. They don't care about you and them. I enjoy her and Serena's conversation. That was a blast. Mariah Carey is going to kill it. Yes. Now that is going to be very interesting because who even expected that to be the very next episode. But knowing the Duchess of Sussex, I'm pretty sure that there are going to be quite a few giants, and even some people. I'm gonna just go out on a limb because I don't know if they scheduled, or should I say if they mentioned who's coming up in the schedule, or schedule, if you will. But I'm going to imagine that there are going to be some heavy, heavy hitters. Not necessarily people like, oozing with cash and success in a more obvious way, but just people who are profound, for other reasons besides monetary gain or anything like that. So I think it's going to look a lot like, I'm gonna expect variety. That's my prediction. It's gonna be variety, and it's gonna be some very powerful women. And I'm wondering if there might be a guy in the mix. I tell you what, it won't be me. But oh, I see Michelle Obama. Let me see. Yeah, go ahead and throw some names out there who you think maybe coming up um on the archetype. Oh Lord, I was about to say Royal Sussex. Royal Sussex would have trouble booking a garbage collector, but touche. Thank you so much for saying that. Touche. Okay, let me go on. So, right there, this is where I was when I got back in this afternoon. And so I'd only gotten through like about that much of it, the white bar you see at the bottom. And then from there, you know, when the Duchess of Sussex mentioned pain, um, of course, that sent the chill through me right there, thinking about the way things have gone for the past couple of years, and how the Duchess of Sussex has had to hold her head up in spite of everything. And then to throw into the mix this event that happened in, not event, I mean, this near tragedy that happened in South Africa. And I will speak more about that later. But that is the part where I was just like, leaning into the speaker so I could hear everything clearly. I was like, what? Oh, man. So, let's see. Don't believe the type. Okay, and well, yeah. The first, the one with Serena Williams, that's the one, and then the second one was only what, a minute and a half long, and that was like maybe more like an introduction or something like that. So the misconception of ambition with Serena Williams, great topic, great topic, and considering the way that the Duchess of Sussex has been mistreated, has been bullied by the establishment. Well, in a parallel universe, and for a much longer time, like pretty much her whole professional career, Serena Williams was suffering under the weight of this very um I, I don't know how any other way to put it, but this very white world, and I mean right down to the uniforms, this very white world that was established and not really meant for people of color. And there she is, um at the top of the game. I mean, just at the very top tier, the point of the pyramid, all the way at the top, and then everything trickled beneath her. Because without the Williams sisters, for that matter, without the Williams sisters, who who would have expected the crowds for tennis to be as large as they were these past, what, 20 years? I don't think anyone could have expected that. Enters the Williams sisters, and then, of course, the greatest of all time, Serena Williams. And just like so many other sports, just like with Hamilton and race car driving, um, all of a sudden, people who weren't paying attention, Lewis Hamilton, there you go, people who weren't paying attention, all of a sudden, they are, or let me put it another way, all of a sudden, these very Eurocentric sports, or, people, European descent people, pretty much dominated those sports. And then suddenly you got people actually paying attention. But I don't know, call it black girl magic, whatever you want to call it, but won't they do that? Won't they do that? Um as a matter of fact, I am not going to hog the entire topic. I'm going to give you guys a chance to chime in. So I'm going to put the link up there right now if you would like to add to the conversation. I am going to pin it. And Anita, I would love if you are inclined. I would love to hear from you. Hello, Anastasia Isabella. So I don't know if we could coax you into it, but if you're inclined. Okay, and there you are. I love this one. I guess this is one of the official I guess promotional images for the archetypes, but love that one right there. In love with that one. Absolutely in love with that one. Um and then there's this one. So I actually tinted this photo a little bit. It was like basic, silver, black, white, but I gave it a little tint because I didn't want to change the idea that it was a black and white photo, but I did wanted to. Rohini, perfection. Come on in here, Rohini. What say you, Rohini? Welcome to Royal Sussex.
Hi, squaddies. Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting to hear them say hi.
Hi, squaddies. I have just started vacation.
Okay.
I loved it so much. I've been itching for this for so long, and she did not disappoint one bit. I have lots to say, but I would go with you and I'd pace with you. But right now, it's so amazing how kind and warm Serena is in person, and to think that the image that they had portrayed about her is this aggressive, rough personality, which is so not true. When you have male tennis players that have destroyed their rackets and didn't even get penalized. It's so awful. It was so awful to hear. And to listen to her talk is like, wow. So this is the person who they have been trying to hide in the background because she is competent, because she's a good player. So obviously there's something wrong with it. It's it was wonderful though. It was wonderful.
Well, on that topic right there, when you said there's been players that have broken their racket, how did you feel when you heard her talk about? Oh man, and I get emotional thinking about it. But how did you feel when you heard Serena mention how no matter what happened, no matter how clearly the ball was, what is it, not on the line or was not near the line, and they just, she could do nothing right, and she even had to walk over and address it. But of course, being a woman of color, she had to pull back whatever rage she was feeling about it. And all of this is playing in front of cameras, and of course, you don't want to confirm the worst that people already think about you. In that moment, I felt awful for what the, tennis, what is it, tennis association or whatever. I felt really bad for what they put her through. I didn't watch most of it real time. I would see the highlights and such, but it felt absolutely awful hearing her testify to how poorly she was treated.
Yeah, it honestly it felt familiar. It
Okay.
felt very, very familiar as a black woman that they treat you like this. And the minute you you know, as I say, the minute you take God out of your thoughts and decide to defend yourself, then you are wrong, and you need to calm down. You're being too aggressive. Why are you so angry? So
Right.
you are literally pegging me over, and I'm supposed to sit there and take it like a moo. Just sit there and smile and nod and smile, and it's okay. It's okay. And while I am dying inside, because I know you are literally cheating me. You are cheating me.
Well,
This is the thing
Rohini,
about sports. Sports is, when you think about a sport like tennis, right?
right?
It relies upon you being your best. Technique, skill, training, strength, all of these things have nothing to do with what I look like. It has to do with my dedication, my determination, and my performance. That's it, right?
Do you do
Not
you
even my
wonder?
gender. And I am there, and I am there, and I am the best. I am the best.
Do you wonder
And the
if
only
in
way you
some
would recognize me is if I sit there and take abuse. I am supposed to take abuse, because the idea is that I'm supposed to take abuse until you tire yourself out. The abuser is supposed to get tired of abusing me and then eventually say, "Oh, by the way, you really are a good player. I'm supposed to take abuse." That's what they're trying to tell me. And the minute I say no, abuse is not okay, and I will stand for myself, then you need to calm down. You're being aggressive. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? You black women have so much energy. Okay.
do you wonder if there was some sinister motive behind that to maybe cause her to lose some of her endorsements by this big outburst, or you know what I mean? Like they were just somehow trying to get her to explode in front of the cameras, and if not that, get her banned from the tennis world altogether. Do you think that
Yes,
may have
there
been a
was.
motive?
There always is, because she was a black face in a sea of white, and there was no way they would admit that black excellence always outshine white mediocrity. There's no way they're going to admit that. There's no way that they're going to admit that for us to shine, that we learn that we have to be better than everybody. So when we're on top, know that we really are better than everybody, because we have no choice. We don't get to be average. A black woman don't get to be Karen. We don't get to be mediocre. We have no choice. We have to. So when we bring our A game, we are the best. And they're going
Uh,
to
Ro-
they have to realize that.
Rohini, if you could stand by for a second. Herndon Davis, hello. Well, you're on camera, right? I
Yeah,
just wanted to make sure you wanted to be on camera. How are you?
careful.
Now, I've
Good.
seen your name in the chats and comments before, but this is your first time actually, speaking direct to us. So, what say you, Herndon? Am I
It
saying
was
your name right?
yeah, Herndon is in Herndon, Virginia.
Oh, okay, Herndon, as in Herndon, Virginia. Very good. So,
Yeah, it
how
was
are you
brilliant.
today?
It was brilliant. I mean, it had to be. It was no choice but to be brilliant. And I noticed that the comments on the Ranger side were typical, but there were less. There were less of them. There were less. There was less intensity around it. They were still hating, but they couldn't because it was just so amazing to hear, to see, to learn, to be inspired by. I don't understand how anyone could not like it. You may have a different opinion, great, but there was just nothing wrong with it. It's just the quality was great, and I can't wait to hear the rest of it of the other 11 episodes.
You know what? And I was blown away by the quality. I thought the quality was absolutely awesome. The way the music was mixed, even the part where Harry, I guess, comes in and everything, it did not sound like awkward at all. Kind of like a bunch of background noise. It was silky smooth, and I absolutely loved it. And I was glad to hear Harry's voice. You know, along with her voice, because it's pretty rare that that happens. So when it does happen, I'm absolutely thrilled. And I don't think we've had the two of them speak together since the Oprah Winfrey interview. Is that right? I can't think of any other
No, they
occasion.
did a commercial for Christmas. Remember?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, I along with the thing about the quality, I have to say this too. Um, it really, especially when she said Mariah Carey, it's like leave them wanting for more, and I am hooked because it's almost like I can't wait for the next one because I just want to know where it goes, and I feel like you're going to hear something revealed from Mariah that she hasn't said anyplace else, and that will be very like Oprah of the Duchess of Sussex, but not in any way making a comparison or anything. But I'm just curious to see what she brings out of people because we've seen a kind of a different Serena today. She's been candid before, but I just feel like something extra came out today that we didn't know it or we didn't know how she felt about it. Um, and maybe that's because of their friendship. She was more comfortable and relaxed to speak about it. I don't know, but I feel like I'm hungry for more and I can't wait to see the next one.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
anything else you want to add to it or
Yeah. So two more quick points.
sure.
I think that we definitely get more tidbits about Meghan's life in the royal family, and I think that's going to be her subtle way of allowing us to fill in the pieces more, to get a fuller
Yes.
story without telling the whole thing, and let the media has already tried to fact check her, and put pieces together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let me ask you about that before I forget to ask you. And Rohini, anytime you want to get back in here, please do so. And I got Fatima waiting, and Fatima, we're going to get to you really soon. But when you said fact check, right?
Mhm.
Did you get that gut reaction like I did with the thing with Archie, where you just know at this point we just know that they're frothing at the mouth. The royal reporters are frothing at the mouth, waiting to attack this point or this fact or this word or this story. You just know that they're going to figure out something. Matter of fact, I guess we could kind of write it ourselves if we were inclined to do their jobs for them, which of course we never would. But because you already know that if it's something negative, they'll spot it. If there's something they can make up or like tag some BS to it, you already know. You can just pick out the word and say, "Oh, they're gonna latch on to that one, and that's gonna be all they talk about tomorrow." So
Oh,
we
they've
already know
already
this.
started.
Yes, right?
Baron, they
Absolutely.
what's his name is Jack Small Penis Royden. That's his new name for me. I'm calling him that. He's his he is like his they slammed the royal family. She never mentioned the royal family once. She never mentioned the royal family that they slammed, that she was made to go back to work, and so she didn't mention these people when they already have. So they've already
Uh-huh.
started the narrative that
I think I saw that in the
it's not
Daily
true.
Fail.
They've already started it, which is so ridiculous. And I'm like, dude, you're giving me small piggy vibes. It's yeah. We know you can't peg. We know you gonna need a strappy because you're giving me small piggy vibes.
Fatima,
Because it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Hello.
come on in here, Fatima. You've been waiting. Tell us your impression. How did you feel?
I feel great. Absolutely great. I kept telling everybody that Megan is perfect. I think I've been vindicated today. She's absolutely wonderful. And she
Fatima,
has that.
Fatima, Fatima, your connection is kind of I don't know what it is. It sounds a little staticky. Is there anything that you're able to do about that?
Oh, what about now?
Perhaps. Say something else.
Okay, let me move again.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Are you by a
or
fan or something like that? Or can you turn the sound down?
no?
Or you got an earpiece?
Oh, maybe I should try and later. What
Yeah,
about
it just
now?
sounds a little wonky, but maybe that if there's something you can adjust, that would be helpful.
Okay, then I'll try it again.
Okay, go on now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's still kind of staticky. If you could see if there's another way you could work on that, and I'm just
Yes.
gonna put you on hold for a bit. And Karen, come on in, Karen.
Hello.
Hey, Karen, how are you
Hi.
today?
I'm good. How are you guys? Hi, Squatty. Hi, Rahini. Hi, Davis. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I am so great. I'm so wonderful. Oh, I'm just over the moon right now.
So, aside from well, you know what? Let's just talk about the Archie situation because I was going to do that later. But please give me
Oh,
your full impression of that.
oh, oh boy. Whew. It
Yeah,
was
I
hard.
know it's a lot, right?
It was hard to hear. It just put a lot into perspective right now. And I can see why they had to make the decisions that they had to make. Oh, wow. That was a lot. We could have lost him without even before 2020, before 2019, before we ever know anything. It that was a lot. I'm just trying to. I listened to it, and I'm just trying to just process that in my head. Just you know, as me being a person in that position, okay, having to be out there working or and get a phone call of this. It's I don't know. I really don't. I really don't know.
Well,
That
I'm gonna
was
I'm
hard.
gonna tell you a story. Um, I one of my coworkers years ago. One of my coworkers, she um was a single mother, and I think she came from one of those situations where she either didn't have any extended family or, relatives that could help her, but she had to get a job to support herself and her daughter, and a babysitter that was like her last resort. She drops her daughter off and, exchange the usual pleasantries. And before she could get to the bottom step, she heard her daughter crying and she heard this woman yelling. And she said she needed that job, but she also felt horrible because, the mother's instinct, she's hearing her baby crying. And she had to tear herself away from that situation. I mean, obviously, she didn't feel like her daughter was in mortal danger, but it was an awful choice that she had to make. And then to spend your day working, knowing and feeling what you just witnessed and what you're afraid of and all that such, it had to be hard. So when I heard the Duchess of Sussex saying that, and we still went out to this engagement, or we continued the engagement, then we went back and everybody's crying. And then she said, the next day or that later that evening or whatever, there was more work to do. And I thought about my coworker because I'm like, oh my God, what a situation to be in where you have to tear yourself away, even though you just had the fear of God put into you, but you feel obliged to work. So
Yeah.
yeah, I thought about
Think
that.
about every time. Think about every time they have to step out. Okay. Think about every time
Uh-huh.
they had to step out. Okay, to go and do work, like, and have to put on this face and have to be,
Mm-hmm.
in this positive place with, think you remember when, was it there when she said, um there's a lot going on, when she told the guy thank you, and
Mm-hmm.
in that interview, was it there?
I believe it was. I believe it was.
I
And
think it
I unfortunately I only
I
ever
think
saw
it
the
was
interview
there.
the one
So
time.
that kind of puts things into perspective, why she made the statement that she made,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she did
Right.
say there's a lot going on behind the scenes. She said she did say it was a lot to deal with. You know, this story tells what her demeanor was at that time, what Harry's was at that time, and why they made the comments that they made. Okay, and people are
Okay.
saying, well, they shouldn't, you know, it's messing up the trip, and they shouldn't say this and they shouldn't say that. Can you imagine knowing that this happened, and then having to go out, and then you still have to smile, and on top of that, knowing what's happening behind the scenes and how these people are attacking you? It makes me think, well, okay, all of a sudden a fire. Why was a fire in his room? Like, what was really going on? So all these things are on their mind. Okay,
It- it-
it gets me thinking.
right. Well, hold on a second there, Karen, because Ray Raquel, I just
Mhm.
put you in. So whenever you're ready, you can unmute yourself and hello to you and thank you for being here.
Hello, can you
Hello.
hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, so I just wanted to just share with everyone and thank you. Hi, squaddies, and all the squaddies supporters. I
I
didn't say that last time. And Karen and Rohini and everyone for sharing today. You're just so amazing, and of course, Baron, you're amazing too. I,
you
I
are too.
I go on withdrawals when I have to wait for your next show, Baron. So
Oh, go on. Go on.
I just
No,
love it.
really, go on and tell me some more of that.
Oh, I will sit here and sing songs to you all day. I just wanted to
Oh,
share about the
great.
archetypes that, even though they're two prominent world figures, right, in my opinion, as a Black woman myself, and I have been in many situations most of my life where I was the only person that looked like me. I was the only chocolate person. Um, and or only person of that is identifies as Black. But and being chocolate, that's a whole nother story. Is situation. I feel this. I'm just speaking my truth. I'm not speaking anybody else's truth. But being raised by a mother that's not chocolate, she really helped me and really taught me what the world would see. And so hearing them speaking and hearing Princess Meghan sharing this experience, it transcends, right? It transcends to me. I think it could transcend to people that are LGBTQ, anyone that is different or treated different and not treated like the majority. And it just makes you feel really good to hear that. Like someone said earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
that you can't like show your emotions because you seem aggressive, or I felt threatened by what you said, or I mean
Mm-hmm.
it's you, so you can't even be your authentic self sometimes, and you have to mute. I feel like I have to mute myself. So hearing this and hearing their journey really encourages me, and I hope it encourages other, and I just can't wait to hear what others are experiencing by this. But it's really uplifting to me to let you know that you're not alone.
Absolutely. Representation matters. Representation matters. And the way they have vilified, for instance, affirmative action, well, the people who vilify affirmative action hasn't been the person who's gone into a space and you don't see anybody anywhere close to where you come from. You can't hide your otherism, for lack of a better word. Um, it that people say it with their eyes, their insensitive comments and such. And it just helps a lot when you're not alone in those spaces, when you find someone that you can identify with, when you can, have that kind of connection. And I've worked in places where we I you know what, I wasn't conscious of anybody who sat with a particular group. We pretty much did it by age rather than by race or skin color or anything like that. Religion, we pretty much did it by age, and even with that, sometimes you would have people pair off, and that was a good thing. But that was kind of an exceptional situations. I've been in situations where that wasn't the case, when I really felt so isolated, like working in a community where there were rarely any black people living there, let alone working there. And there I was, and every time the police, this one particular police officer came in, I always felt so uncomfortable because it seemed like he spoke to everybody but me. And that was weird for me. So it's a thing that is still persistent. And even though you see black people all over the media and all over music and radio and such, it doesn't mean that those days are so far behind us, or behind us at all, that we don't appreciate seeing that representation. And I think the royal family has missed a huge opportunity. And just the tone of things from the Commonwealth seems to have shifted since the Oprah Winfrey interview. No matter what anybody says, I think that a seismic change has happened, and there's no going back. And it's only going to get worse for the institution and directly to the royal family. What do you guys think of that? Anybody?
Well, it just shows all the stuff that's being hidden behind the scenes. Really,
Yes.
okay? It just thing. I mean to say, with the Oprah interview, it gave us a look inside as to what was happening. Them leaving there gave us that look, but did we get the gist of it? And that was something that was always bugging me, because I always feel there's so much more devastating stuff that we haven't heard, and might not hear. But I think I just have this feeling inside of me that there is stuff that's devastating in there, that it just went to the core of the Duchess, that it's just unbelievable.
Well, right now I
You know?
got my one of my favorite images on the screen, and that, of course, is the
Oh gosh,
Kensington
The
why?
Palace
Mormon
crew,
Tabernacle
Why?
Choir.
the
The
Mormon
Mormon
Tabernacle
Tabernacle
Choir.
Choir.
Why?
Yeah, I got them up
Right?
there just as
Or you know
reference.
what, Baron? It's more like the Warren Jeffs family, and all the
Uh-huh.
wives they're standing there keeping sweet. It's very hard to speak about this Archie issue without being the angry black woman, because I am beyond pissed. I'm not lying to you. My blood is boiling. My my goosebumps are high. I don't think Meghan know what she did. Like, I don't
Mhm.
even think she know, because this fire seemed very suspicious,
Mhm.
and we know that the British press knew about it. We know they
And
knew,
they didn't
right?
say anything.
They knew, and they did not say a word. They didn't say a
Nope,
word. So we see that
not a
invisible
word.
contract playing out. We see that invisible contract
Not
playing
a
out in real
word. Not a
time.
word.
And when Harry and Meghan gave that interview, and she said, I'm not okay, and nobody's asking that. And I believe that that statement might, there was oh God, a royal reporter. She was on one of the shows talking about, well, that's not true that nobody has ever asked Meghan. Really? Really? So how much did you know about that fire? How much did you know and you covered it up?
Well, and
How much information you had?
they're going
A
to
white she
go
should just be on
into.
oh my God, we call it loose women. And she said, oh, that's not true. We've asked Meghan how she's doing. Really? Did you ask about the fire? Because I
They're
cannot
going to go
see.
into full denial. They're going to
Yes.
go into full denial, or they're going to try to say it was in a different building, or it was in a different place, or and it's
Well, you
just
know
like
what? You know what? I
with
have
the
said, I
Winfrey
have pointed
interview.
out, Byron, I have pointed it out online. Diana
Uh
was
huh.
in France.
Mm-hmm.
She was in France, right?
Right.
She was in a different country. So this
Right.
playbook is the same. Do you understand me? It is
Yeah.
the same. And let us give all honor and glory and praise to Nanny Lauren, because no amount
Oh yes.
of
Oh yes.
NOLA nanny training, intensive
Oh yes.
millionaire training, will teach you how to wrap a baby on your back and give you the instinct that, you know what, something don't feel right. Let me carry him with me.
I can
Let
give
me carry
Nanny.
him with me because he probably was sleeping. You know
I
what?
can give
that
Nanny a
Mm-hmm.
that
big
that
hug
type
right
that
now.
type of
A big hug.
instinct, you can't learn that. You can't learn that. You have to have that inside of you. That's mommy behavior. You
Yeah.
understand me? And thank God for Lauren, whoever she is, like the squad. If you could find a way to send her a
I
gift,
can give her a
like I think I want
big
to. I
hug
wanna.
right now.
She
Oh,
deserved. I hope she. I
oh,
hope that, what. I wish she had brought her to America, and she could be.
intuition.
Listen to me. She's wonderful. You
Yes.
understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And it is impossible for us to talk about that Archie situation and not get angry. It is
Oh,
really impossible because every woman, every mother, anybody who have anything, any soft spot in their heart for children is angry right now. And I honestly, I'm not sure Meghan know what she do. I'm really not sure, because in her mind, this was part of the conversation, but this opened a can of worms that I'm not sure the royal family can manage, because
and we
this
didn't
is
know.
giving
We
me
didn't
very
know.
Diana vibes.
And you
This is
and you know
giving me
what?
that.
You know what though? After that, it was just like, okay, we're out of here. We're out of here. And I think the fact that that happened, and I'm just saying my own hunch, my own thoughts, is that when that happened and they were told not to talk about it, not to say anything about it, it didn't take long for Harry to decide, okay, yeah, we're out of here. We tried, but you got us away from home in another country, and then a accident happened, and it involves the child that a lot of people did not want to see in this world.
Exactly.
You don't have to take out a bulletin board or a billboard, or hire a skywriter or something like that. It just makes sense. All right, it's time to go. We tried. It's time to
Yeah.
go, because
And if
something
you notice,
suddenly shifted. Something. Hold on one second. Something suddenly shifted while they were there. Right.
hmm
Something
yeah,
suddenly shifted, and then it turned into, okay, we're leaving.
yeah,
I
And
believe that
maybe
was
this is
when
what
Harry
this
began
something
his
was.
plan. I believe he began to plan an exit at that point.
Uh
I
huh.
believe that was the turning point when
yeah.
he
And I,
said, "You know what? I'm out." And they, so this idea that that they were blindsided by Harry leaving is BS. It is
I think,
BS. No, we know now. We know now.
I think
After
the
this,
time.
they knew he was looking to leave, and they were trying to keep him there. And they realized that then the way to keep him there was to protect him and his family, was to protect his child and
Yeah,
his wife. That was what you were supposed to do, right? That was your job.
Right.
I
And that
think
was
the
what
fact that
Meghan said in the interview. Her biggest regret was believing them when they said she and her husband and her child would be protected. That was her biggest regret.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and if you look at that interview that Megan did, and where she thanked the person for asking if she was okay. If you look at her face, and demeanor in that interview. You can tell at that time she knew, that
Mm-hmm.
was it. If you look at her in that interview, she knew that. Harry knew as well too, but she knew that was it.
And
She
how weird is it that these same reporters, all of a they're like, oh well, and things were going so well, and they seem to, and there's no doubt they knew that that happened, and yet at the same time they were all so confused as to why all of a sudden they decided to leave. They made it seem like they were caught off guard, and they're the
because of
ones who has been feeding the bad press and in their faces trying to I guess look like they have some compassion, but no sooner do they get back to their keyboards than they're making up stuff and exaggerating things. And you're on this trip, you're on this tour with them, something has happened, you probably know exactly what happened, and then you turn around and say, well, I don't know what happened all of a sudden, and where did this come from, and they blindsided the queen. No, they didn't, because it was already spoken about before the trip. But I think that what solidified it was when whatever happened, and they decided, okay, yeah, now is the time. Now is the time. They were in negotiation for the half in, half out, and thank God they said no to that. But in between all of that, you have this mysterious fire, and even with that, where was the royal protection officer who should have been literally outside the door?
But that was the second straw. That was the second straw where it comes in that it's the monarchy first. Because there was the first one when Meghan was going through what she was going through while she was pregnant. Okay? And no, she can't go and get help because the monarchy first, right? How it's going to
Uh-huh.
look. Now, this is a child, a 4.5-month-old baby. Okay? And you're showing that you don't care about this child because the monarchy first. Okay? Nothing was mentioned about this fire, this near death of this child. Nothing was mentioned about it. But work's supposed to go on. Okay? Everybody's supposed to have this impression and this lie, okay, about all this imagery. And a child's life, okay, was almost gone. And nothing about it. Not even up until today, with all this crap they have to say about her. Okay? Not even up until today. Okay? Meghan is a smooth. What is that? Who sing that song? Smooth operator.
Oh,
Shadi.
Sade.
Shadi.
Sade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. This is so awesome. It's not funny. Okay?
Fatima, I put you back in. Whenever you're ready, come on in. We're waiting for you. I don't know if you're
Oh, let me try again.
okay. But if you
Can
can,
you hear
try
me?
turning down the sound. If you're listening to the live stream, make sure you turn the sound down. And I'm pretty sure that'll help. Or use an earpiece if you have one.
Okay. What about now?
I think it's better. It was like a screechy sound, but I think it's better now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just want to say hey to everyone. I have guests coming in, and I want to say you were talking about the South African trip. I was thinking this is that was the second incident because her dog, mysteriously had his legs broken early on, and then that
Mm-hmm.
fire, something smelled terrible.
That's the
And
third incident.
okay then. So I was thinking when I was listening to her and Serena Williams. I read long time ago this article about when the medical people when the medical researcher when they used to do like experiments on black people and black women,
Mm-hmm.
and not giving them any anything to calm the pain, because
Right.
in their mind, oh, they can take it. I think that's the modern day version of that. Suck it up, black lady. You can take it. We can do whatever we want. Um, we can tell you how to behave. We can tell you, we can micromanage you. Suck it up. No matter how hard you work, we decide still. I think that's the modern version of that, because who's better than Serena? But she had to almost kind of behave the way they want her to. She said that one time she had to change her, I think, her behavior because she was worried about the judgment, if I understood well. And if you remember, Meghan, she was not even given time to rest after her baby during her pregnancy.
Right.
It was the worst for the tabloid, with the tabloids. And then she got a baby. Kate got always time to rest. She's on postpartum, sorry, time. So she get the time. They don't write anything about her until she rests after the baby. Oh, no. Meghan didn't have that. Oh, well, suck it up. Sarah Vine says she should suck it up. And then when I saw her write this article about the Prime Minister wife, when she was accused of influencing her husband terribly, she thought, oh, this young lady who just had babies, can we just give her time to rest? And I think even the Queen came to her support, but she never said anything when Meghan was terribly, when they were abusing her terribly, when she was pregnant. And
right now,
right after
I have a picture of the Frogmore up. If you guys are wondering, why do I have a picture of Frogmore? Because I just want you all to remember, or just remind you guys, exactly how much Meghan went through, even though she wasn't even seen, but maybe twice in, what was it, 5 months. And otherwise, she was pretty much a prisoner of the Frogmore house. And yet, every day, several times a day, there was something else to write about, to speculate, to some rumor was hatched or scheme, or every day without fail, day after day.
Yes.
And not just one story, one magazine or newspaper, but several stories.
Yes, and I want to say also one thing. I think, I don't know why Prince William is so cranky. He should be grateful that his brother did not use the same tools he's doing to fight him back. Because Prince Harry never linked him, never talk about who's pegging him for the day, or when Dan Wood used to say that he was spreading the seeds all over England. If he wanted to fight back, allegedly, most likely, when he never leaked, he never talked about his brother, he never worked with the tabloid. If he wanted to stay in that institution, if he wanted to fight fire with fire, and if he wanted that, he would fight back his brother. Believe me, he will win. He have everything. He is the war hero with a hot wife. If he wanted to tell people his brother not only has a rage problem, but he's also cheating on the lovely Kate. I think he would want that, allegedly, most likely. He would have done that, and he would have won the fight if he wanted that popularity contest. But I don't know why he's so enraged. He should be grateful that his brother did not stoop low like he did, just pack his things and left the country. Why he's still angry? He should be happy. His brother still showed how much he loves him, because if he wanted to fight him back, believe me, he would have won that battle, but he did not. They left peacefully. And everybody who knew Meghan before, she met Harry, this is her. Now she has more experience. She went through a lot more, but it's that same woman, that nice, kind, who want everybody to win. She wants everybody to win. And she thinks everybody are on the same level. I don't think she thinks she's better than the Queen. I don't think she thinks she's better than the Queen lady.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry. if I could have you guys just mute for a minute. Anita has just joined us, and I did ask her to come in first. So if we could please give her just a few moments,
Oh,
because
I,
she
I
might
want
be
to say bye.
really
I have
busy today. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Fatima, and I hope you have a good visit today.
Thank you.
Hi, Byron. I'm gonna
Hi,
just show
Anita.
my.
Anita of My Duke and I. Welcome. Thank you for
Hi,
ringing in with us.
Anita.
Hi, guys. I hope I'm coming through well, Byron.
Hi,
Yes, and you look
Anita.
absolutely
You look
beautiful.
so
Look at that
beautiful.
flawless skin. You look beautiful.
Yes, I'm in my garden. I'm all dressed up for the party. Don't you recognize,
I love the
Byron?
background. It's beautiful.
Yes. So, um, the part from that the let me just remind everybody to please listen, because one thing we want is to have the ratings and the viewership for that episode to go through the roof. So I don't want to give a lot away in my talking here, but one of the things I thought was so heart-wrenching to me, that makes me even believe that it was so crucial for Harry and Meghan to leave the royal family, was the events that took place in Africa. Because what I noticed,
Yes,
that never explain, never complain, stiff upper lip does not work well with people's mental
it's
health
detrimental.
and psychology. Hello. If you
Yeah, the
cannot.
two of those do not fit together. You
Mhm.
can't turn the other way and pretend, because it will build up, and maybe that's exactly what they wanted. As I said with Serena, maybe they wanted to try to expose her as being not so perfect, or not so lovable, or not so intelligent. So you just keep, I guess, turning up the pressure day after day. And I have no doubt that a lot of that came from within Kensington Palace. And I don't think it was just one or two people. I think it had to be way more people who were working against her than working with her or for her, or in any capacity. I think they put the pressure on to try to drive her out, and to show Harry, see, you had it wrong all along, and you need to find yourself an English rose. I think that that's what
Mhm.
the plan was, and it just didn't work out.
Yes, for to take away somebody's humanity, where they cannot even stop and
Suffocation.
Hmm.
address something that has to do with their child. To take away that humanity, where you cannot even stop for 1 second and be human, to address something that has a psychological effect on you, tells me that Harry and Meghan made the right move. You know, that you cannot even take a moment and say, show your humanity, show that something happened, and maybe we might just have to postpone an engagement for a moment so that we can address something in our family. Family comes first and foremost. And that was very disturbing for me, that you would go ahead and encourage somebody who has just gone through something so traumatic, you know, such trauma, and not give them that space to, to digest what has just happened, to come together and find that, to create that bonding, and to sort of like process what has happened. And they have to go like a conveyor belt back on the scene and just carry on like nothing has happened.
Well,
I
I
am
also
saying,
want to. I'm sorry. You finish, and then I'm going to add something to that.
where is the humanity? Where is the emotion? Where is the human connection there? It's just, that was really hurtful for me. Sorry. As a mother, by the way, I have 4 boys, and as a mother, I don't know how I would be able to carry on. Kudos to Meghan for being able to pick up and do that next engagement, because I would have been a basket case. And that's when people would have seen my true colors. So I have even more respect for Meghan.
I just was going to add to that. I recall that the was it the Royal Rodents who tried to make this big deal out of the fact that Range Rover shipped what was it, maybe three of their armored executive vehicles to South Africa to make sure that they had something safe to ride around in, as well as the fact that they would have what do you call it? Obviously Range Rover could promote their vehicles, but they were also executive armored vehicles, and the press even attacked that.
Mm.
They even attacked that, and so that's why I said all the way up until the point where they said, "Okay, we're leaving. We've had enough." Or when of course, Meghan said, "Nobody's asked me." All the way up into that point, they were attacking them all the way to South Africa and eventually all the way back, up until the point where they didn't even keep their mouth shut about the idea that the Sussexes should have an armored vehicle, just like the Royals ride around London. Well, we're sending you some to South Africa. They didn't want them to have it. That really meant, by criticizing that and making it seem like, oh, they demanded those vehicles. They didn't demand anything. Range Rover offered, just like Range Rover offered to participate in the Invictus Games. They offered those vehicles, and even that was criticized. I remember that. Even that was criticized. That became a thing. That just goes to show you how incredibly cruel, not just greedy or nasty, but just cruel the tabloid press is. That
Mm-hmm.
they know their words can put a
Mm-hmm.
person in danger, and it
Mm-hmm.
means absolutely nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a game.
Mm-hmm. It's just incredible. And there were so many pieces, Baron. I could go on and on and on. But what I'm just most happy about, Megan says, sometimes the right decision to make is sometimes the hardest. And something that was, sorry, there's a vehicle passing. Megan, something that was confirmed to me today is that Megan is a praying woman.
Yes.
She is a praying woman. She said it. There's those hard decisions, you pray on them. And she's a praying woman, and God answered her prayer. And I was so happy that she spoke her truth. Well, regardless of who liked it or not. And that to me makes me even love her more than I ever did. You understand?
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's some noise in the background. But anyways, that's just my piece. And just guys, go ahead and let's bring those ratings and those viewership up for our girls. For our
Share,
girls.
share, and share. Keep sharing those.
Exactly. Yeah, because you know what? People are waiting for they have a lot to say. The British media have a lot to say. And let's just prove them wrong. Let's prove them wrong. Let's just watch. Let's not watch, but let's just listen and get those numbers up. That's all I have to say to people out there. Get those numbers up and
Are
make
you
sure.
always so positive, Anita? Are you always so positive?
You know what? I have a happy disposition.
I
Everybody
love
who
that.
knows me will know that I am a happy-go-lucky kind of person. I always see the glass as half full as opposed to half empty. And this is me. This is the real me, Baron.
Well, it shows because you know what? Just looking at you out there in the day like that, there is always, even when you're doing your podcast, there's always a light coming from you. There's always that light.
And that's the people Meghan attracts. That's the kind of people she attracts. And
I so agree with you.
And I'm not the only one. When I hear other people, the same enthusiasm that I have for her, and not only that, this is just who I am in general. And those are the people she attracts, as opposed to the trolls and them that are miserable.
Yeah, but don't you find as well too, because this is what I picked up from her, because I see myself a lot in her, and same thing with you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I am
Mm-hmm.
that type of person. I am that happy-go-lucky person. I'm the type of person, there could be a bad situation, and, I'm going to find the good, the best, turn that around, okay, to
Mm-hmm.
benefit, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and, like you wouldn't even know that, there's a bad situation going on because I'm going to, find a way to turn it around so that we all can enjoy it and have a good time. And I picked up that Megan is that type of person.
No
She,
doubt about it.
yeah,
Without cutting you off, we saw that in England. She came out there, she put her
yes,
makeup on, she put
yes,
her dress on, and nobody knew the hell that she was going through. And she put
exactly.
a smile on her face. So she's living proof of a happy disposition,
Yes,
of a person
yes.
who is always going to be the best of the situation.
And I think we all should try. We all should strive to be that way because you know there's stuff that's going to happen to us because of who we are. Okay, because of who we are, because of the color of your skin, because of your ambition. Okay, it's going to happen, and we know it's going to come. But we have to do the same, and we have to look beyond that. We have to look at the prize. And I mean to say, I've been in situations like Fatima said, you're the only person in the room that that looks like you. And every day you have to put on your armor and you have to get out there and you have to focus on what your goal is. Okay, I've been in places where I'm excellent at the job and doing better at the job, but would I get it? No. Okay, or what, I had people who even stabbed me in the back and tried to steal my work and
Mm-hmm.
present it. You know what I'm saying. So and
Mm-hmm.
yes, we have to put on that smile and step
Mm-hmm.
above it and still and put on that armor and still keep going. Okay,
Well,
I,
so this situation is very passionate for me, very passionate for me.
oh yes. And
I
Okay.
want
Megan
to
lived
point
it.
out something if I can. Today, I believe it is today, on this day in 2001, Meghan Markle appeared in the minor background role of Nurse Jill on General Hospital. I don't know if that's why Archetype was released today, but I saw that on the Twitter
Wow.
and I just
Uh-huh.
didn't want to go any further. I have it
Mm-hmm.
on the screen. I didn't want to go any
Mm-hmm.
further without mentioning that.
And you
Also,
Mm-hmm.
see it.
Jocelyn Young says Baron Frogmore Cottage looks like a penitentiary, which it does. Is the institutional paint job that
Mm-hmm.
kind of brings that out. Also,
Mm-hmm.
there was a super chat earlier. I'm going to see if I can scroll back to it because I want to get these super chats in. And
Yeah.
Anita, I thank you so much for taking the time.
Yes.
Now, were you busy when I guess imposed upon you or no?
No, Baron, I was filming. No, I intended to do my show today as well, and I said I will post it tomorrow. So make sure that you guys listen to my show as well. And I just wanted to be a part of the community today, because you feel empowered when you have so many people with similar interests, and just to have your mod squad, Baron, I'm telling you, they are the best. The love that they
Aren't they?
give and the
Aren't they? They're
encouragement.
warriors.
I am
I
telling
feel
you.
like I'm in Black Panther. Like I have, those what do they call the Doja something? They're warriors, absolute warriors.
Yes.
Also, Black Queen had a super chat. Baron Meg's podcast profile reminds me of the Mona Lisa. Two expressions. Her face shows the pain and of her travails, as well as her triumphs over evil. Black
Mhm.
Queen, that is very profound. Let me go back to that because
Yes.
I want to put the full size image up there. Yes, yes,
Mhm. Mhm. Oh
yes. I see it.
yes.
I
Mhm.
see it. It does have two interpretations for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, it's Blogs. J Blogs, are you ready?
Yes, I
I heard a little
am.
background noise. Correct. Come on in here. How are you
Hi,
today?
hi. I am very, very well. First of all, thank you so much, Baron, Squaddies, all the other team members. I cannot thank you enough.
Mhm.
I cannot thank you guys enough. Love is coming out to
Oh,
all of you
thank you.
Squaddies all
Mhm.
across the world from Berkshire, UK. And I'm
Mhm.
just going to try and be really quick. I just want to say, my grandmother used to say something really profound.
Mhm.
And she used to say, empty vessels make the loudest noises.
Yep.
And when I think about what
Yes.
Harry and Meghan has been going through, and I think about the stoicism of Meghan, the silence she has maintained, she let all the pies be thrown, all the rotten eggs be thrown. And I know Anne was waiting with anticipation for Archetypes. When is it coming? When is it coming? And I just thought, no, wait,
Mhm.
be patient, be still.
Mhm.
Because when Meghan speaks, the world will have to listen.
Mhm.
And when I listen to the podcast, I can see exactly why she took the route she took.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I keep hearing all this noises about, oh, she tried to change the monarchy and she tried to do this. And I always say, an institution that's 1,000 years odd, should not be threatened by a woman coming in.
Mhm.
And if you are so threatened by her, you have to ask yourself why. Why does she threaten you so much? And I think what Meghan has proved beyond a reasonable doubt is that they are not on the same level as her. They're not even in the same field as her,
That's
which
right.
is why it was so easy for her to just say, you know what, Harry, I'm going to support whatever decision you take, and I will stand beside you. I will walk with you. We will walk hand in hand. If you decide to stay, I'll support you. If you decide to leave, I'll support you. And walking away, don't forget with the institution, it's they feel that they are above everybody else. They're above reproach. They're above everything else. So for somebody as insignificant, quote unquote, as her to walk away from them,
Mhm.
they would know that there is a bigger bolt coming.
Mhm.
The difficulty they're facing now, the rodents, the family, the male, the derangers, is that we don't know what's coming. We don't know when it's coming. So we
Mhm.
have to keep throwing all this mud and hoping that something sticks. And I always think about
Distraction.
when we look back at history and we see how history is told in truth, I often think, my God, what were these people going through at the time? But here's the difference with Harry and Meghan. They are setting in stone their story. So it's going to be undeniable what they went through. And Baron, I've got a podcast of my own that I've been doing for a while, and I've taken a year out, and I've been thinking I want to go back to it. I want to go back to it, but I also want to do something for the squad. And when I heard Archetypes today, I'm like, no, I'm getting my mic back out
Mhm.
because
Oh,
there's
please
so
do.
much that
Please do. It
needs to
will
be said,
grow.
Baron. There is so
It will
much that
grow the
needs to be
community
said.
because we need that. We need that
It's
because if more and more people are out there, and when
yeah.
as I've had some of the derangers say, "How did you end up in my feed or my
Mhm.
whatever
Because
algorithm?"
you clicked on my link.
And
Mhm.
right, right, and they go in there, and even I'm glad because that lets me know that at least my voice is reaching a
Mhm.
broader audience. And for
Mhm.
every one of those people who hate what I'm saying or hate what I'm doing, at least the people who need to hear it or needed a place to go
To
with their
go.
feelings and emotions about this, crime. I'm gonna just call
Mm.
it a crime that
It is
has
a crime,
happened
yeah.
to the Sussexes.
Mhm.
Um, the people who need to have that conversation with other people that feel the same way, I'm glad to know that I can reach those people too. So,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
the more of us there is, the better
Mhm.
chance we have of growing the community and reaching people who need to I guess have reaffirmed what they already know, to
Yeah.
learn some things they didn't know,
Mhm.
and I
I
get that from other people's podcasts all the time. Like, oh, I
Ba-
I
didn't know that.
I totally
Baron,
agree. And I just think, It's just totally unconscionable that a family could sit back for 6 years and allow this incessant abuse to continue. And it comes back to, what Meghan and Serena spoke about in the interview. What we all know as Black people. Well, you're expected to be tough,
Mm-hmm.
so suck it up and take it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that they have walked away and they've done what, 3 interviews, if that, since they've left. I mean, when you listen to the comments and when you hear the television and you hear some of the radio stations and then you hear the derangers and the haters, you would assume that this couple is doing interviews every single hour of every single day. How many interviews have they actually done? How many times have we actually heard them speak? And the fact that they're
Which is why
proving
every time I hear Meghan, that's why every time I hear Meghan, I get so excited. I'm just like, it's
exactly,
like putting on a
It's
warm
fresh.
blanket. I'm just like, yes, I'm always so excited. Sometimes I even forget what she sounds like. I'm like, oh yeah, that's her. Because she so
and
rarely says anything, but you would
exactly,
think it was this constant.
exactly. And something else springs to mind, Baron. The more you rub me with sandpaper, the smoother I
Mm-hmm.
become. So let the haters keep digging away.
Ah, I
Let them
like
keep
that.
scratching away. Let them keep scratching. All they're doing is they're buffering out her and Harry. And I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that we are hitting the turning point. It is coming.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I
Yes.
We
can.
can hear you.
I
Yes.
We can
thought
hear
you were
you.
talking to someone.
No,
I'm like,
I
oh,
was.
she must be saying hi to someone.
Yes.
Everybody loves Anita. She must be saying,
No, I wanted to make sure that your guest tells us what is the name of her podcast so we can be on the lookout. And
Okay.
definitely, Baron, I want to just declare that you are one of the most gracious and generous um um Meghan Markle,
Channels.
Prince Harry, Sussex person out there. The way that you embrace everybody is something special. And the
You.
more that we have, the more of an army that we have behind Harry and Meghan is the
Mhm.
better. Because guess
Yeah.
what? There are so many evils out there. There's so many negativity out there. And we definitely need more of the positive. And we need more
Absolutely.
pro Harry and
Absolutely.
Meghan um,
Absolutely.
YouTube channel, podcast, whatever it is. We need more of that. The positive, the good definitely has to outshine the bad. And
Absolutely.
I'm really excited about subscribing to your show anytime it's launched. Okay.
Thank you.
well,
Thank you,
thank you. But
Anita.
I got to tell you something. I got to tell you something. I feel like, and this is something that I've said so many times, I'm just so grateful that considering what the squad has been through individually as a group, that people trust me to do this work. I mean, sometimes when I think about that, it does make me very emotional
Mm,
because
mm.
I know what it's like to be disappointed. I know what it's like to be hurt by, other people that pretend to be a fan and stuff like that. It's hurtful. It's
It's
hurtful.
hurtful.
And
Mm,
so I
mm.
I make sure, and when people I guess how do I put it, when people say thank you to me, and even if I don't say it in my heart, I'm screaming no thank you, because I'm not doing this by myself. I've never been by myself. From day one I was embraced by the community, not by everybody, and still not by a minority of people, and that's okay, because
That's okay.
we don't have to all get along or like everybody. But for those who have been in my corner, I could not have asked for better. I just couldn't. Moderators, subscribers, etc. I could not have asked for better. And I remember that one day, I think I was getting close to 13,000, and somebody said, "Congratulations." And I started bawling, because I was just like, just as I asked for it, I said, we might just And for some reason, at that point, I felt like so much love coming across with those numbers just jumping up like
Mm.
that. Um, I tell you, every day I am
Mhm.
absolutely grateful because I like what I do. I like being creative. I like making people happy, making people laugh, and is all the stuff that I would have done in some other way, probably not with as many people, but it's stuff that I've always done in different situations. And to have this platform to be able to do that is more than I could have ever expected when I first said, okay, I'm going to start this channel. And then it took a whole year to actually do it. And even now, I want on that note, I want to remind you guys that the Duchess of Success is coming up. I just put the link up there. She was nice enough to move her time because I was actually going to get off of here in time for her, but she moved the time. But let me take a look because I don't want to be insensitive to her. So because I'm much later than I usually come on, and people are so considerate with me, I want to make sure I pay that forward. So I got to count down about 16 minutes she's coming on. So I'm going to be well clear
Okay.
here in
Mhm.
16 minutes. But yeah, I don't want to, be
You, s-
creeping
you,
over.
s- you see what
And I
I'm
think a
talking about?
final,
How
a,
generous you are?
yes.
That's what I'm
Thank
But
talking
you.
about.
I think a final thing I wanted to say, Baron, is that I'm quite a positive person. And I always think, people complain about challenges and challenges. I said, no, never see them as challenges, see them as opportunities to
Yes.
grow because
Yes.
life is just a lesson.
Right.
And one thing I've learned throughout this whole process, I always meet people where they're at. I always try to meet
Yeah.
people where they're at. And people often say, "Oh,
I
you
love
Yeah.
that.
you see the whole picture and you make." I said, "It's not that I make excuses for people; is I meet them where they're at." And
Yes.
one thing I've learned in this whole thing is what has united us in this situation. And for me, it's the pain because I felt
Yes.
that pain. I feel that
Yes.
pain that this young
Yes.
family is going through. And I
Yes.
think
Yes.
for me, that's the solidifying element that keeps us together. Because it could easily
Yes.
have been my brother or my sister or my niece or my
Yes.
nephew. The fact that,
That's my
you know,
thoughts. Yes.
he's the queen's
And
grandson or that
that's
she's this.
exactly. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I gotta say, when I look at Doria, I see my
Mm,
mother. I see
exactly,
my mother's
exactly.
pain when I look at Doria's face.
And I
It's
tell
not
you
just
something,
what Megan
yeah,
is going through. Megan is like a sister or a child or something like that, a younger sister. Just
yeah,
as Harry has been
it's the
like
youngest.
so much
Mm.
a yeah. And
And
to
when it's
see,
interesting when you
I'm
see their
going to tell you, one
parallels.
day
Mm, mm,
I was
when you see
putting
the
a video
parallels in their
together
lives.
Yeah.
and I was
Oh.
trying to find a photo of Doria. It's something that I could use for the video. And when I did that, I came across a video of Doria with the paparazzi at the window of her car. And
Wow.
I was so destroyed when I saw that. I felt awful. I felt awful. I had to just walk away from the computer because I was so hurt seeing her mother subject to these piranhas circling around her SUV.
Mm,
And I had never heard her voice before that day, but it just it hollowed me out. I was in so much pain and distress from that because I was thinking, what would I feel like if somebody had did that to my mother?
Oh,
What would
Can I
that feel like?
can
Baron,
I tell you
well,
I
guys?
have four boys. I have
I,
four
Baron,
boys.
I have
Yes, you
two, so I
did.
know what I would do.
And I'm
I
I
know
telling
have
what I
you,
one.
would do.
I'm telling you, Baron, and I have an army of students.
Mm, mm,
Oh,
I
mm.
you
don't
told me
condone
about the
violence.
students.
I don't condone violence, but with my boys and my students,
I put my life on the
Uh-huh.
line
I
for them. I
understand.
would put my life on the line for them. And something else
Yeah,
that's
you
I
don't have
always
to fill in the blank. I already got it.
no, no. Something
Mhm.
I
else that
have a
struck
bunch.
that
I have my son, and I have a bunch of nephews and brothers. So you can
yeah.
and
imagine.
if
You
anybody
can
Nieces,
treated
yeah.
me
imagine.
like that, or any one of you like that,
No.
I'm telling you
Okay.
how they would be, what they would be doing.
Oh
And
my
you know,
God.
some
No, and there's so many times in my life
Mhm,
when, let's say even if it's like a customer service thing or something
mhm,
like that, where if it happens to someone that I love, I
mhm,
may end up catching the case. If it happens to me, I'm like, okay, I got a thick skin. But I don't know where that voice comes from. That's like point them out. You know,
mhm,
well, which one? Who said? I don't know where that voice comes from. To the point where I make the loved one, the whatever, afraid for the other
mhm.
person
for the other
because of
person.
how all of a sudden everything goes red for me. I'm like, they did what?
Yeah.
But
You know,
I
And
always
that's
say,
that's the
Baron,
way it is.
yeah, I always say empathy and compassion doesn't have a bloodline.
no,
Mhm.
It just
True.
is.
Right.
It just is
yeah.
what it is. And when
But
I think back
one
even
of the
to,
things one of the things I want to say, with the Oprah interview, I was so uplifted and empowered,
Mhm,
okay, by that interview. I was so uplifted and empowered by Megan's demeanor in that interview. And one of the
absolutely,
things I left that interview saying is that they haven't seen the best of her yet.
yep,
mhm,
absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely.
mhm.
Okay?
And I often think also of this
And now we're
image
seeing it.
of Dorius sitting. I often think of this image of Dorius sitting in the church of the wedding, in the
Mhm,
chapel of the wedding.
Yes.
And I often say to my
Hmm.
husband, if Diana was here, there is
Mm,
no way on God's earth that
mhm,
that woman would have been sitting on her own.
mhm,
Absolutely no way. I can
mhm,
almost guarantee Diana would have been sitting with
mhm,
her.
mhm.
And do
We
you
s-
notice from that picture, did you notice, because I was just looking at it just a couple of days ago, because I
Mhm.
was doing some stuff with the pictures. And
Hmm.
did you notice from that picture that she knew what was going on?
Mhm.
A praying mother knows.
Oh.
A praying mother knows.
Okay?
Exactly.
All the stuff
Mhm.
that was
Exactly.
happening behind the scenes, all the stuff that was going on,
Mhm.
she knew. She was praying. She actually prayed in that church. There's a
Mhm.
video that shows it. Okay? She looked up and then she looked at Harry.
Mhm.
Okay? When Megan got to the church, and oh my gosh, that woman was praying in that
Mhm.
church.
Mhm.
Rohini,
Yeah,
I have you in whenever you're ready.
it's
Also,
been
you
quite
guys, I'm going to get
conspiratorial.
off in 10 minutes because Legends of Success is coming up. I'm literally sitting here watching the clock, you guys. So I got to get
It's
Anita,
off
quite
in
I
10
love
minutes.
you.
conspiratorial. They keep kicking
I
me
love you,
off.
Anita. Keep it.
Oh yeah. Baron, before
Oh,
you leave, I want to make sure that you know you have to do a show and anybody else who wants to come in because I think you're going to help me through
Oh,
live.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I will. I will.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
I can't wait
absent-minded
to
and
meet
all
you
over
all.
the
I
place,
cannot
but I
wait to
will
meet you all.
be glad to do that. So,
Mm.
I'm always nervous if I try to set a time for something, but I am watching your what do you call it? Your what do you call it? The notifications.
Oh,
So when
okay.
I see it, I will make sure that if I'm available, I will make sure that I go over there.
Okay. Thank you, guys. And everybody
Okay.
else to the invitation to everybody else.
Well, do you
The
know when you'll
mod
be on?
squad.
Do you know when you're going to do a live?
I don't know. I'm a little scared, Baron. But I have a son,
Oh.
my son who is in advertisement, really nice young black man. I'm definitely gonna try to get him to do it with me. So, a little bit of encouragement there. I see him, when Megan talks about Harry, I see all of that in him, my little support. So hopefully I'll be able to do it with him and we'll be able to get through it. Yes. You see? I'm scared, although I don't sound like it.
I find that hard to believe, but I'm gonna take you at your word.
Yes.
But yeah, I will. I'll be glad to
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
whatever I can. I'll But again, I'll look for your notifications, and so and since you told me that, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
make sure that whenever I see a notification, if I'm like at home or whatever, I'll make sure that I get over there.
Okay, and
Anita,
everybody.
You're so good. I look at you. I look at your shows, and
Uh-huh.
you are so awesome. Your soothing voice,
Oh,
your
thank you.
demeanor just relaxes. You
Oh,
know,
thank
it just
you.
relaxes me, and you're just awesome. There's nothing to be afraid of. I mean to say, listen to me talking here. I'm a chicken at this, but you wouldn't know. Just get me talking, and I'm okay.
You're welcome to. You're
But
welcome to come on too. Anyway,
let me
next
know when
week
it's
shall
on,
be.
Anita. I'll be up for it. I'll be
Oh,
up for it.
thank you. This is what I love about the Sussex one.
But I just
I
want to end this by saying thank you. I can't thank you guys enough, Baron, yourself and all the other guys. And just to say to the squaddies, everyone that's listening, those that are going to listen on catch up, let's just stand firm. Stand firm.
Yes.
Because what I think is going to happen now is that the family and the Rodents are just going to out themselves
Mhm.
just by losing their minds over what Meghan may say next. And it's like,
We
I don't
gotta
know if
focus
any of
on the
you,
positive.
yeah, I don't know if any of you read that book as a child, What Katie Did Next. It's a book called What Katie Did Next. And I keep saying to my son, this is how the saga's been. What will Harry do next? What will Meghan do next? Harry and Meghan will just be Harry and Meghan.
Yes.
Mhm.
They're going to be consistent.
Yes.
They're
Mhm.
going to be constant, and the rest will just out themselves because it's
Mhm.
going to get to a point where there will be nowhere for them to hide. At the
Mhm.
moment, you know, I personally think the Queen is sicker than we realise, and we're just not being
Mhm.
told. Because I'm watching the
Right.
movements, and I heard about Brian talking earlier about William traveling separately to Kate and the kids, and I just thought, no, I don't think there's anything sinister going on. I think they are preparing for something
Mm.
because the
Oh.
heir never
Yes.
really
Yes.
travels with the children.
Mhm.
Yes.
The
I
heir very rarely travels with the children. And now that I've seen the separation, I thought there is something going on behind the scenes and they're
there
preparing. Because God
I believe
forbid
that too.
something happens
There
with
is
all of
something
them.
going on.
Yeah, there is
They're
something
just
going
feeding
on.
us. They're just trying to feed us with that narrative. But I think there's
Yeah,
something. There's
there is
something
something
going on, and
going on. Yeah,
they want us to think that there's some separation. I don't think that's
yeah.
what it
I
is.
don't think there is. I don't think, not
No,
yet. It's
no.
coming,
There's
but not as
something.
yet.
Yeah, there's
But I think they are
something going
preparing
on.
for something bigger. Yeah, yeah. And
Yes.
that's what the
Well, and
whole
they're going to
move
be
was
on
about.
show. They're
Yes.
going to
Yeah.
be on show to the world. It is going to be a global event, no matter how much people dislike the Queen. It
Mhm.
is going to be a
Of
global
course,
event
of
because
course.
it will mark a end of an
Of an
era,
area.
and everyone's going to be watching. So they certainly will not want the scandal of any separation or divorce at that time. But
Mhm.
they're going to have about a year. I give it about a year
I have the
between
feeling
her passing.
they want to
Mhm.
turn that palace into a full-fledged
Museum or something.
tourist
Tourist
tourist thing to
attraction.
draw
Mm.
to
And they
draw money
should.
in.
They really
Draw
should
money in.
because
They should.
it has the capability of making money, and it's like the place everybody goes on a visit, and you can't even go inside of it most times. So they
Most of the
really should
times, that's
open it
right.
up.
That's right.
But yeah,
but I
they're
mean
going
that's
to have like a
Yeah.
year between when the Queen dies and
Hmm.
Charles has his coronation. And then after
Hmm.
that, it's going to be just like one ongoing flat note of nothingness. There
Yes.
won't
And
be
I,
a royal wedding for 10 or 15
at
years of
least.
any significance. So they have to get that right because
Mhm.
that may be the only thing that sustains them for the
Mhm.
next 20
Mm.
years.
Mhm.
And I've always said, Baron, for the last few years, I somehow do not envisage Kate being the queen. I don't know why, but I just don't ever see it happening.
And it
I
shouldn't.
just do not.
It shouldn't.
I don't see
Yeah.
it happening. I
It
don't see it
shouldn't.
I
happening.
can understand why. I can understand why, but she just
I
doesn't
just,
seem fit for purpose. She really doesn't seem fit
well,
for
I
purpose.
It
I
shouldn't.
well,
agree.
she has
I
she has
think
fitted her purpose. She has. The thing is, she has served her purpose,
exactly.
and You
Oh
know, if she
yes.
was
Exactly.
really clued up,
Her purpose was to give birth to a male heir,
exactly,
Mm.
exactly,
and
exactly.
and by that we could kind of give her a bit of credit. She gave
Mhm.
birth to an heir, a spare, and an extra.
And an extra,
You know what
and
I
an
mean?
extra, and an extra.
She did her job a little well, but the
Hmm.
idea that she is going to be queen, I
No,
think
I've
she
never
might
seen
be
it,
there.
Rohini.
If it does happen, she is gonna be even more of a shell of herself, because
Yes.
she already is a picture. And this, brings me to what I wanted to bring up, and that was in the podcast when they spoke about little girls and their light being dimmed.
Mhm.
I shared on Twitter, I remember one time raising my hand in class to to ask a question, and a young man was like, "There goes Miss Pushy." And
Mm.
everybody laughed, because I'm the type of person, I'm gonna ask the question, "Miss who, what is this? What is this?" Listen, I will pester the teacher. That's me. And everybody laughed. Even the teacher laughed. And I stood there and let them laugh. I swallowed my tears and I asked the question.
Mhm.
And guess what? The question was vital to what was happening in the test. And this did not happen in primary school. It didn't happen in high school. It happened in college.
Mm. Oh,
Okay.
So, it's something that we carry with us. And
Of
when I
course.
listened to that part, I asked myself,
Mm.
how much have the world missed out on that little girl who would have invented that innovation
Mhm.
because her light was dimmed
Was dimmed. Yes.
by people telling her, "Don't raise
Insecurities
your
and
hand."
fragile egos.
How
Mm.
many of us would have been dimmed
Mm.
by that? I go back to my niece who the teacher wrote it, Gigi doesn't speak up. And I asked, "Why not? You're smart in class." And she said, "Because the boys were telling her this." I said, "Tell the boys it's because I'm smart and you're dumb. I so get out of the class.
Exactly.
And if anything happened to you because of that, I will answer to the teacher." And that is
Yep.
exactly what she did. She stood up and she
Mm.
said, "Because I know the answer, you dingbat. Now get out of
Mhm.
class." And they were shocked, and they called the teacher. And I said, "And what? And what?" I told my brother, "And what? And
Mm.
what? What,
Mm.
what, what you finna say? What you should have done as a teacher is to silence the boy,
Encourage and
not her.
support her.
You
Yeah.
don't silence her at
Mm.
all." And this is what we face. I think it was Gabrielle Union who said, "You don't need to dim another woman light for you to shine.
To
You
shine. Nope.
shine,
You
I
all,
shine, the place bright."
Just
Look
hold
at
hold
that.
back the
I'm gonna
curtain and
have
let
to
Look
everybody get
at
their
that. And
moment.
how many little girls. And it is
I'm
so
gonna have to
wonderful to see Meghan shining, and see
Yes.
Meghan shining not just for her, but for her little girl, and for every other little girl out there, even for Kate's little girl,
Yes.
because
She's
she's
shining
the
the light
spare.
on the pathway.
She is
Mm.
shining the light there. And let me
Yeah.
tell you, that light is
Mhm.
a light that the royal family does not want. And not just them, but many of the British people do not want either,
Want
because it means they have to look at themselves. They have to
Mhm.
look
and
at
step
their
up
place
and
in
step up
life and where
and
they
step up.
are. They
Mhm.
have
Mm.
to look at it. And before I go, Karen, you
You
set
know,
me up. We were supposed to do this podcast together, you and me, and you
I
set me
know.
up. You never email me. So, right now you're in the
we,
doghouse with
we
me.
can't we, we
You're in the
can't
doghouse
we
with
can't
me. So
we
in the private chat that we have here for those of us online, I'm gonna give you my email again. And when I
Mhm.
get an email, I will know that it's me, Karen. I
yeah,
will know it's because I'm
I
black.
didn't get
I
it.
know.
I didn't get it.
I will
I was
know. I will
asking for
know.
it.
I will know your prejudice against me, against Trini people.
I
You
love you so
understand? You
much,
have an issue with the whole country. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling. I'm
you all.
upset.
I
So I'm
put the
putting it
link.
there.
I
Mhm.
You
put the
know
link for
something?
Anne. She's starting
That
right
Yeah,
now, so
put
I
it
am
there
going
because
Okay.
I was
to.
trying to reach you. I was trying to reach you. Okay.
Mhm.
Hook up with Anne. Okay. She
All
has
right,
my
you
contact.
guys,
Okay.
Anne is starting right now. So you
Hook up
guys,
with
I'm
Anne.
gonna
She has
say
my
thank you
contact.
so
Okay.
much. Thank you,
Mhm.
Anita,
Mhm.
Rohini, J
Mhm.
Blogs, Karen.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Also,
thank you guys.
Mhm.
I
oh
put it
gosh,
in the
who else
private
is
chat.
on
I put
here?
my
Strong
email in
salt
the
of
private
the
chat.
earth.
Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Bye
Oh,
Bye.
everyone. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you
thank
Bye.
you.
guys.
See
Love
you
you
all
Bye.
over.
guys.
And
Love you,
the link
Scotty.
is up, you guys. Go ahead
Be
and click on
strong.
that
Be
link.
strong.
Yeah.
And it's starting right now, everyone. I will see you all over there. I'm going to make some lunch, but I will listen. Thank you,
Mhm.
everyone. All right, I'm going to
You're
close
welcome.
Bye,
with my
guys.
Meghan video. the one, that last one that I made, I think that would be perfect for today, is to close with that one. So what is the name of it? Madam Duchess something? Okay,
Okay.
yeah, so I'll do that one, and then I will see you guys over at Ann's. Thank you all so much. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye bye.
Okay, so at least 300 of y'all got the message. No, for real though. I'm about to go, y'all. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And the last word of the day is going to be Connie Bomber. Bye, squatties. Okay, see you guys over at Ann's. Remember, the link is at the top, so you guys can go over there, and we'll talk about this some more and many other things tomorrow. Good night, you guys. Love you.